Scott, it's ended here in a 0-0 draw. I think it's the first 0-0 draw since March against Yeovil. But it wasn't quite a 0-0 sort of game. It could have seen us win right at the very end with Slavvy's header coming back off the crossbar. But are you more happier with the performance today over recent performances?
Yeah, it just looked like it meant something. That's the biggest difference. And I don't like to say that about my team because that's what it is. But the last few games, we probably lacked that intensity, the willingness to go and put your body on the line, tackles, passes, sort of 1v1 duels looked like they meant something today. And I thought the way in which we've played at home over the past couple of years, that's been us. And I think by the end of the game today, I think we should have won it, in my opinion. Looking at the chances that we've had, we've got in some really good areas. Keeper's made a couple of good saves. Slavy's obviously hit the bar at the end. And I don't think Charlie's had a save to make all game. I might be wrong, you always correct me at some point. But it felt really solid, and I think credit where credit's due, guys come in and made a big difference. So overall, really happy to stop the rot. To concede 13 goals in 3 games is not great. But then to keep a clean sheet against a really good side is definitely a positive.
I just wanted to ask you about the decision where we've seen Slavy actually play a little bit further back than what he's normally been to do normally, but what made you come up to that decision, I guess, to sort of drop him a little bit deeper?
Yeah, so I felt that Slavy was sort of taking all the hits up top, trying to be combative, I guess, and not getting much success, where Slavy's an excellent footballer. You get the ball to his feet. I felt like he could just drop into that pocket, get on the half turn, and make things happen. He's not really the type of player to go in behind. So we've obviously tried to utilise Franny and his pace by getting in behind, and he got in behind a couple of times today. But Slavy's an intelligent footballer, really, really intelligent, really clever. He did it really well at Chatham away, where he got the ball and drove. I don't know if you remember, for the first or second goal. And he's done it on a number of occasions where he drops into those pockets, gets on a half turn, and just felt like it suits him at times. He won't play there every week, but there's certain games today where we went sort of like a 4 in midfield, a box in midfield, and we just felt like Slavy was the right person to suit with Johnny Goddard in there. So yeah, we'll change it up all the time, as we always do, horses for courses and all that. So yeah, overall really happy with the point against the good side. I would have taken that this morning when I was having my breakfast. I was a little bit nervous about today because I've seen that we've taken a little bit of flack, and rightly so. But overall, I think there's 2 defeats in 40 home games now. So listen, as much flack as we get, we've got to have some credit for that the boys have been brilliant here. We just need to improve our away form, which we know, and we'll try and work at. Maybe we have to approach games differently. But overall, yeah, really good point today.
You've mentioned his name already, Guy Hollis, back for his 3rd stint with the club. What does he give you that other centre-halves don't, apart from obviously, of course, the obvious long throw?
I've always loved him. That's the truth behind it. Guy will never sort of take any compliments for how good he is. He thinks that he's just a head it, kick it centre-half. But for me, that's what the Conference South is all about. You need a Guy Hollis, very similar to Dan Bayliss on the other side. And for me, it's one of those ones. I've tried to sign him last January, tried to sign him in the summer. I heard a little whisper that he wanted to maybe look at other options, and I put a 7-day approach into Farnborough, and he made the decision to come and join us. So I think he's superb. I think he does exactly what it says on the tin. I call him Ronsil, and it's one of those ones that you know what you're going to get, and I thought today he was absolutely superb. I think when he's gone and crunched the header in the first half, it set the tone. The lad went down with a head injury, they clashed heads, and you see Guy, he just sort of rubs his head and just shakes his head and gets on with it. And we've probably missed that sort of Temi type that's honest, aggressive. Last season we had a 3 at the back with me, Temi and Bayliss a lot of the time. And we know we've played a 4 at the back recently because of personnel. I'm not a centre-half in a 4. Dan Bayliss is probably not centre-half in a 4 at the moment. So it's something we've been looking at, but it's really, really difficult to try and find the right balance. That's what we want to be. But I thought he was absolutely superb today. He probably would have been my man of the match, if I'm honest. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have him on board.
Still looking for some changes then, potentially. Just wanted maybe a bit of a further squad update from yourself. We've seen the likes of Lexus and Quaker not in the squad today. Is there anything going on there? And also, are you still looking at potentially bringing in any further players?
Yeah, so we had a really difficult conversation with Lexus and Quex. The truth is that we brought Lexus in as a centre-half. He's played his best games at right back. He's he was offered a contract in the summer, which he didn't want to sign because he's obviously backed himself to come in, do well and kick on, which is absolutely fine. But we've got Jamal Prosper, we've got Josh Chapman as right backs. We're never going to be able to bring players in for fun because of finances and budget, and we've got to work to a budget. So I spoke to them on Thursday night about possibly going out and getting games for a month. So I'll be honest with you, it's up in the air at the moment. We don't really know what they're going to do. Quex and Lexus might make the decision to move on completely, but at the moment in time I think Quex probably needs to build up his fitness, and Lex probably needs to get a bit of confidence back. So yeah, listen, they travel in really far as well. I think that's another thing that you have to look at, both on non-contract, whereas I think 11 or 12 of the squad are on contract now, so there's not much room to manoeuvre. But for me, I just felt like we needed an old school centre half rather than another right back. So it's never personal. Lex has done really well for us. Quex has done really well, especially at the beginning of the season. But we need to stop the rot. I think we're always going to score goals with the team that we've got. But I think today keeping a clean sheet is the most pleasing thing. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the next few days with them too.
And it's a platform that needs to be built on pretty quickly, doesn't it? Of course, after today, it's a quick turnaround. Torquay United at home on Tuesday evening. What are your early thoughts heading into that one? Excited.
It's the biggest club in the league coming to us. Fantastic football club, brilliant manager, really good friend of mine who I speak to regularly. I've not spoke to him this week. He said he wouldn't speak to me on the week of a match, but we know it'll be tough. Of course we do. But after today, I think we can take some confidence that we can go into Tuesday, hopefully full of energy. They'll have a long trip up here Tuesday, and I want us to be at 100 miles an hour. Like we were against Dorking at home on a Tuesday, Bath at home on a Tuesday. And if we play like we did today, in terms of not the quality, but just the application, if we give that, I'll be really pleased. I don't ever want my teams to be questioned in terms of throwing in the towel or not working for the badge, all of those things. That's not what we're about. I think we've got a really honest group. We are going to lose games of football. We've only ever lost 3 in a row in the last 2 years, which is a really good achievement. Other clubs have lost a lot more. We're not a superpower of the league, so we've had a little blip and we need to get over it. And I think hopefully today is the start of that, in what's going to be a really tough run of games. But yet again as well, the crowd today, brilliant. I think it was just under 1,000. I think I heard it come over the tannoy. So there's a lot of positives today. I'm really pleased, and hopefully the supporters will see that that's a really good point in the grand scheme of things, against the full-time side with a top manager and top players.
And just finally, I wanted to cheekily congratulate you on the birth of your daughter this week. How has your first week as a dad been?
Oh, amazing, Con. Yeah, it's one of those ones people say to me that it puts everything into perspective. If we had lost today, I'm sure I'd walk home through the door, and it would put a smile on my face. So, over the moon. It's been a great week. A couple of sleepless nights, but it's worth every minute of it. Wife's been brilliant this week. Birth went really well, so really pleased. Millie settled into the world great. I'm looking forward to going home and talking her through today's game for a couple of hours this evening. I'm probably feeding her a bottle. So, no, it's been a great week. So, thanks ever so much.
Thanks for your thoughts again, Scott, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Cheers, Con, thanks.